Honcast Podcast time coming at you here with plenty to talk about. That is for sure. With that said, as you can see, joined by quite the panel today. Of course, I'm a co-host here of Breaks CBK. I'm going to be joined by three other co-hosts, at least initially here. So I'll throw it around the board. We're going to be joined by Fantasy once again. Fantasy, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing excellent this time. I'm not nervous anymore. I'm just psyched to be here once again.
How'd your Cardinals do last night?
They won. They came from behind.
So did the
13
Chargers.
to 10.
So did the Chargers. High five. Joined by, of course, Beef as well. Beef, returner here, co-caster of the podcast. Beef, how you doing?
Well, my team didn't win. So...
I was about to ask,
awkward.
how did the Rams do?
Awkward.
Yeah, they kind of got decimated by the 49ers on Thursday. But I've had a few days to deal with that, and so I'm just looking forward to talking about some Han here, Breaky. Should be a good time.
Man, we got a lot of Han to talk about. We definitely do. I mean, there's so much on the table. So let's get right in. No, I'm just kidding. As you can also see in the other corner over there, going to be joined, at least for the initial part here, for good reason, we're going to be joined by Milk Fat, the one and only. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, man? Super stoked to be here. First thing I see in chat when I join is, go fuck yourself, Milk Fat. So, really glad to be here. Really stoked.
quite the introduction, right? You know, it's people just don't realize the great things you do behind the scenes.
Noise. You know, what are you gonna do about it?
It's you just gotta roll with the punches, I guess. I've been through that plenty. Don't worry. The tears. No, obviously we're having you on, especially for this first part here, because there was a great announcement that happened over the weekend, and we'll get into that just in a couple seconds here. But before we do, again, just to kind of go over what the show plan is for today. So obviously we got the podcast here. It's going to be hopefully around an hour and a half long. Again, there's plenty to talk about from, of course, Han Tour Cycle 4, from other region events of the Southeast Asia, CIS, especially that's why Fantasy's here. He gives a thumbs up. You know, he's the one with all that information. Of course, the Sound Blaster Heroes League going on. I mean, there really is just so much to talk about. But and then after the podcast, actually, that's important to note here, guys. After the podcast, we're going to be basically transitioning. Pretty much, we're going to have to restart the stream, but we're going to be jumping right into the grand finals of Han Tour Cycle 4. In case if you weren't here, of course, on Sunday, the grand finals had to be postponed as Stay Green were not able to field their 5. So they postponed it to tonight. It's going to be Stay Green versus Lion Esports Club after the podcast. That's set for 1 p.m. Eastern, 1900 Central European Time. So we have a great day of Heroes of the Earth coming at you. Plenty to talk about, like I said, followed up by a great best-of-5 matchup for the Cycle 4 grand finals. With that said, to get things kicked off here on the podcast, again, the first topic we wanted to jump into, though, was, of course, the DreamHack Winter 2013 announcement that happened over the weekend. Holy crap, it is here once again, $30,000 prize pool. Of course, going to be taking place from November 28th through the 30th, right over Thanksgiving. Thanks, Sweden. So, yeah, with that said, Milkfat, obviously we have him on. He's definitely was a big part of making this happen here. Sam, Milkfat, what's the deal, man?
We are going back to DreamHack, and this time it's a little bit more exciting. I kind of hinted earlier in the year, there was a thread I kind of hinted at this one going big with North America and Europe. Of the reaction that I've always gotten from the competitors is that DreamHack was too focused on the international scene. We always had too many teams coming from around the world. And now that we have the Han Tour Grand Finals and us sending 2 teams from North America, I really wanted to give everybody in NAU a big LAN for them to celebrate the 8 best North America and Europe players, which is something that we actually haven't done in a couple of years. I think this will be the most NAU teams at a LAN since like DreamHack Winter 2011 or something.
It's been a while, feels like.
Yeah. So it's really exciting. Just to kind of give it a breakdown, they are $30,000 prize pool. Stay Green is automatically invited for being the reigning champions of DreamHack Summer. We're having 3 qualifiers on NAU for Hontour.com. So if you guys go to Hontour.com, go to the events, you're able to sign up. We will be having 3 teams from there. The winners of those 3 tournaments win $4,000 of basically travel stipend as well as hotels. So there is a lot on the line for winning those 3. From there on, Southeast Asia will be bringing 2 teams as well. DreamHack is going to be hosting their own qualifiers on their website, and that'll be announced later on. But basically, they're going to be taking 2 teams from the Nordic area, and then there's going to be 2 BYOC entries as well. And then once we get those full 5 or that full 10, split up into 2 groups of 5. top 3 from each group move on, with the winners getting automatically placed in the semifinals.
Yeah.
And then we're good to go.
So you were talking about 3 different events. So I want to be clear on that. So for the qualifiers, the NAU qualifiers, it's not necessarily 3 different events. It's just one event, but 3
One
teams
event.
going to be qualifying. Okay, just to make sure on that. So and again, it seems like we're going back to that deathmatch format. I believe we did that. What was that? Last DreamHack even, or was that 2 DreamHacks ago?
DreamHack.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
Destination.
right. That's right. Yeah, that was a lot of fun, and I'm glad to see that back.
It's gonna be awesome, man. 3 consecutive days of best of 5s.
Yeah.
Winner goes to Sweden.
That's a big deal.
That's
It's gonna be badass.
that's gonna be hype. Like I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun for sure. So, yeah, I mean, so touching on the North American, European, more heavy kind of teams, I mean, I think it's safe to say, from my perspective at least, from previous events, it's understandable why it happened. It's great that it did happen. Teams from Southeast Asia, CIS, Latin America, even one of the events. But in the end, I mean, the results definitely have not spoken for, sending the amount of teams that it seems like that were being sent from those other regions. So it did kind of take away a little bit maybe from the competition of the actual event. Although I've always said, there was a qualifiers for a reason, so that's also a big part of the DreamHack event, and then also being there. And I mean, still, even though we had CIS teams, Southeast Asian teams last event, I mean, you could argue that last DreamHack was one of the best DreamHacks we've ever had. And this is coming up to be our 7th or 8th DreamHack. I mean, how many is this? Do we even know?
7th.
7th? Yeah. Holy crap! 7 DreamHacks
a lot
here
of DreamHacks.
that we're now coming up on for Heroes of Newer tournament. So. I'm sure, but going back to that North American, European heavy feel, I'm not gonna lie, I'm excited, as I'm sure a lot of other people tuning in, and the teams themselves even. So that's gonna be fun. What about you guys? Fantasy. We'll start with fantasy. I mean, what are your thoughts on the format and NAU heavy teams and stuff?
I like the format. It's not a secret that I'm really into the Southeast Asian scene and would love to see more teams of compete on an even ping to
You
just
want
see.
Pixie Baby to show up, man. Don't stop.
She's not even playing anymore. She moved on with her life. It's but I like the format. I just have a little bit of an issue with the amount of Swedish teams that we might see when you see the 3 teams that come from the real qualifier with the travel stipend, and you look at the teams that are on top now. Yeah. You have Lions and you have Team Excellent and maybe even IG that basically are Swedish to an extent.
Yeah.
If you have a little bit of bad luck, you're gonna have those 3. It's a lot of bad luck you're gonna have then. But you have those 3 teams, and then you have the second tier of Swedish teams coming from the Nordic qualifier and then from the BYOC. So you're not getting the best teams necessarily, I think, with this format. That's my biggest concern.
It doesn't guarantee them.
No, I just said that's my concern.
Yeah.
I'm pessimistic.
I mean, it could happen that we could have Team USA and TMSR and Justice League qualify in those first 3, and then the next 2 go to Lions and Team Excellent, and then you have 2 more teams show up at the BYOC, and you have the best teams in the entire world. So,
well, what I was gonna say, I mean, that kind of goes back to what I was even hinting at, where we were just talking about, like, the qualifying stages are also a big part of the DreamHack event. I know it's not actually at the event itself, but hey, if it happens to be those 3 Swedish teams, like you're just saying, Fantasy, good for them. Why weren't they defeated by the other teams? I mean, the other teams, if they weren't able to beat one of those teams or whatever, however it played out, then maybe they don't deserve to go to the DreamHack in the end. I mean, that's how the format works out. So I find it hard to believe that those 3 winners from the NAEU tournaments are going to be all Swedish teams. I mean, that is a good point, though. I mean, there are obviously top of the line teams in Lions and Excellent, but we're guaranteed to have State Green, as Smokefat say, the returning champions for good reason. TMSR, Team USA, there's, I think it's safe to say there's good chances that one of them two, if not both of them, could qualify as well. So it's just going to be interesting to see how it plays out. But yes, you are right it could be over Swedish populated as far at the DreamHack event, competing for Heroes of Newer.
And DreamHack's in Sweden, so great.
It's like, I was going to say, is that necessarily a bad thing in the end? I don't know.
Just like how when we were at GSL,
Yeah.
24 of the 26 teams were tied.
That's true.
So.
That's true. Beef, what are your thoughts on this whole format and everything?
I really like the group stages. I mean, it's no secret that a lot of us are fans of group stages here.
Yeah.
With DreamHack, I think the DreamHack qualifiers are even like partially groups. Yeah, they are partially group stages. Sound Blaster Heroes League, we got some group stages. Maybe future events going to have groups as well. I mean, it seems like it's really the way to go, and it does provide some really entertaining matches. And having the NAE heavy presence, I'm happy about that. Having a couple Southeast Asian teams there, completely necessary because we need to see how those teams stack up and whatnot. But and the CIS region, the Latin America region, anywhere else, I mean, they're really not bringing a whole lot to the table. And I think that replacing those with the NAU was the correct decision to go. It's going to be great for the competition. It's going to be great for the viewership at home. Really looking forward to this event.
Yeah.
What's going to be really cool is that DreamHack is about cycle 7 or 8 through Hontour. And so that's nearing the end of Hontour. And that means we're going to be able to see 2 of these Southeast Asian teams before we head to Southeast Asia to face them on their own turf. So it's kind of, it'll give us a perspective of what we're going to be dealing with going to them. I think that we're going to be in for a surprise. I think that every single time, at least in my experience, of seeing them compete on lands, they are closing that gap a little bit more.
Yeah.
They didn't really have the best performance at DreamHack Summer, but I think that was due to a lot of last-minute roster changes. But I think we're going to be in for a treat. Hopefully we'll be able to see Nova and Emperor again.
Yeah.
So,
Hope so.
can I ask a question?
No.
All right. So it's gonna be
Yes.
it's gonna be 2 Southeast Asian teams and not one CIS, one Southeast Asian because it's just said.
There will
Garena
not
teams.
be a team from CIS.
Alright. Okay.
Southeast Asia, yeah. Okay, yeah.
ITS down.
Cats?
Southeast Asia should be announcing it pretty soon, but there is definitely going to be one from Southeast Asia, and then they're going to do another team as well. But it's not going to be from CIS.
There you go.
Alright.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. I mean, speaking of Beef and Nova's team, or excuse me, Hemper and Nova's team, we'll get to Beef's over there in Thailand. We'll definitely talk about that later on. But yeah, that would be a lot of fun to see them, obviously. But I don't know, man. I mean, it seems like they're actually having a little bit of struggles themselves still over there in the Thailand region. So for good, but I see that as more of the competition over there is clearly pretty damn good, especially in the land environment. So that's going to be a lot of fun to see which 2 of those teams are going to be coming to DreamHack. So. No doubt, no doubt. All right, so with that said, we did talk. You mentioned a little bit about for the viewers and everything. Obviously, as I already see a couple questions in chat, and I know it would be brought up. As far as the coverage goes for the DreamHack event, the best, like I said, that's still being figured out, I believe, overall. So, I mean, Milkfed, do you have any further word on that as far as how that's going to play out? But
coverage,
yeah,
DreamHack will be casting the entire thing. It's all going to be shown on DreamHack.tv. They're going to have their own Heroes of Newark channel. They will be also flying out 2 casters to cast the event. Hopefully it's not you. And yeah, it should be pretty exciting. Maybe we'll get, Henry D and Hugh or something.
Come on, Papa Drange is over there in Sweden. He was just on the TV.
Yeah.
The old school guy's back.
I mean, people freak out. I think it's safe to say that Breaky will be there.
Who knows? We'll have to wait. We'll have to wait and find out. I would love to go back. I'll say that much. I've always said that. I would love to go back to Sweden. And that's a good point too. This is the first time. Again, this is, as you said, this is our 7th time we're at DreamHack for Heroes of Newark, and it's the first time, though, I believe, that it's an official DreamHack event. Am I wrong on that? Because as you're just saying, I mean, DreamHack's covering it all. Like, they're doing the full coverage for it. They got their own stream from it. So I believe this is technically the first time it's been an actual DreamHack event. So, what would you say are the advantages of that, Milkfed?
The advantages are definitely going to be that we get to utilize and tap into their resources as well. It's not going to be just us doing the entire event, doing it from our booth. We are going to have a set-aside area. They're giving us the opportunity to have a BYOC, and they're going to be running that whole BYOC. It's very calculated. Instead of us doing everything off-site and then showing up to DreamHack to try to do it, it's going to be them organizing it, knowing that they know the layout. They know all the time. They're going to be able to set us up in the Dream Arena, and then they're going to do all the coverage in the Dream Arena as well. So we've had a very good experience there, but that's with us doing it ourselves. Like, imagine once they're in charge, how awesome that's going to be.
Yeah.
And one thing to mention is that we will still be there. We, S2, are having a booth at DreamHack. So DreamHack is going to be doing all of Han. So they're going to be doing the entire Han tournament. They're going to be doing the BYOC. There's going to be a tournament area. And then we're going to have a booth there as well. We will be having some Han stuff there, but the majority of our booth is going to be demoing Strife. So that's going to be exciting. So if any of you guys are interested, you'll be able to check out our new game. But I'll be there working Han, doing all the Han tournaments and all that.
This is Honcast. How dare you mention Strife?
Oh, get out of here, man.
Same.
Same company.
I'm done.
No, looking forward to that. Obviously, that's going to be a lot of fun. So, okay, that's definitely a great explanation. And again, it's going to be a lot of fun. And obviously, as far as the catch is going, everything we'll have to just wait and see. But I'm looking forward to that as well. So, I mean, I guess unless Beef, did you have an opinion on that? Sound like you wanted to say something? No. Okay.
DreamHack Production's good, man. Production value.
Yeah.
They do it better than pretty much anybody in the world.
They know what they're doing when it comes to that. It's safe to say. When it comes.
Did you guys see their new studio too that they built?
No.
I thought that wasn't theirs.
It is
They
theirs.
build it together with MTG in Stockholm or something.
Okay.
And they're going to be casting
nice.
from there. So I mean, it's nice. It's really nice.
Yeah. Cool.
Nice.
That's good to hear. I even saw like graphics and stuff that's supposedly going to be building a huge arena even or something for the DreamHack. I think that's down the line, but
Yeah, I think Robert's
that'd be
goal
nice.
is to make Stockholm like the esports capital
Yeah.
of the world.
it's definitely on its
Yeah.
way. At this
Best
rate.
gamers are from there.
Yeah. Well, debatable.
They're pretty good. Well,
What do you mean debatable?
not really. Not really.
Not real. Oh boy, I took slack for that one.
Put straight.
Speaking of best gamers being for there and everything. I mean, what are our predictions? I mean, what do we think is going to happen as far as I think here I'll put it as simple as I can put it. Is Stay Green going to win DreamHack? Beef, we'll start with you.
Yes.
Fantasy?
No, Orange Esports is gonna win. No,
Really?
Stay Green's gonna-
Okay.
Stay Green is gonna win.
Okay.
Milkfed, are you optimistic?
No, Stay Green won't win.
Come on, guys!
That's gonna be exciting.
We're here to hype the
I'm
event.
pumped.
That's not hyping the event.
No, I mean, I think this is the time for Stay Green to fall. I mean, yes, they have, the momentum going into it. They're winning all the Hunt Tour cycles, but every single cycle, that gap is getting closer and closer. There are teams that are winning. I mean, Happy Five, who knows? Johnny G might show up with his Happy Five friends and just stomp the shit out of Stay Green. You never really know.
It's happened before.
And so, you got to keep in mind, Team Excellent. This is going to be Pew's first LAN. Pew has been building up a LAN for like 2.5 years. You know that Pew's going to go hard. Lions Esports, those guys are looking damn good. They're all from Sweden. You know they're all practicing.
It's true.
Team USA, you know that they're going to come hard, and you know that they want to show everybody what's up. You got TMSR, Justice League, Internet Gangsters. There's so many teams that want to prove themselves and want to be the best. That there is just so much going into this event. There's never been an event like this. There's always been like, okay, we got Stay Green, we got Complexity, and then we have some guys from CIS, some guys from Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
Now there are 8 teams that could all potentially take a game off of Stay Green on a good day. Who knows?
Who knows?
There's a lot of time between now and then as well. I mean, we got a full 2 months, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
2 months.
Yep.
It's quite a while. It definitely
Lots of stuff going on.
Obviously, there's always plenty going on. I mean, with Han Tour and the Sound Blaster Heroes League is going to be picking up. But, of course, Stay Green, again, they get the automatic invite, so they're not going to have to go through those qualifying stages, which could definitely be good to warm up for a lot of those other teams as well.
Yeah. They won't get the practice of those qualifier stages either.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're not necessarily going to have people to practice with because everybody else is going to be playing in them. So,
yeah.
I mean, who knows? That might hurt them a little bit in terms of practice. So we'll see. It's going to be a good event. I'm right there with you, Sam. I think that there really is something to be said about all these other teams making a real shot for it.
That's actually a good point. Denial Esports, too. I mean, who knows what they're going to start bringing up here. But I still think they have to prove themselves ultimately. But, hey,
Yeah,
they have a great roster. Who knows what they can make happen. So, that's going to be a lot of fun. All right. So, I mean, any final thoughts on DreamHack here, guys, as far as moving on? Or think we can move on here? Let Sam get back to work. It was a busy night.
October is going to be an awesome month.
It is. Oh, my gosh,
We have
it is.
we have Sound Blasters Hero League. We have
Yeah.
DreamHack qualifiers. We got Han Tour. It is going to be crazy. And you
I've-
guys are going to lose your voices.
Well before
I mean,
DreamHack.
I've got to say this right here. Like the weeks of October 14th to the 30th,
Yeah.
we have games every day minus one, including 4 best of 5s and 2 separate group stages.
Bring it.
yeah.
Bring it.
Like, that's going to be 2 insane weeks. Breaky, we are actually not going to have voices.
Content galore.
Yeah, no.
Han Best
It's-
MOBA, man.
Yeah.
On Best MOBA, like, it's true, man. We're
Yeah.
going to have so much. I'm happy. Thanks, Fantasy.
Thanks.
Wow.
We needed
I'm
that.
sick.
You're tired again.
For the second time today.
Oh boy. No, it's crazy, man. It is. Just looking at the schedule, and that's going to be picking up. That's going to be a lot of fun. So, all right, Milkpat. And any final words before we move on here?
Looking forward to it. Have rest of the good day, guys, and I'll see you later.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. All right, there we go. So Milkpat there joining us on the podcast. Get rid of him. Change a shot. There we go. Good to go. All right. So with that said, obviously, again, DreamHack, man, that's gonna be so right though. I mean, this October, especially the later part of October. I mean, it's just gonna be nonstop Heroes of New Earth, and actually, I want to bring something up about that. Obviously, we're going to be doing coverage on Honcast. You got your Coldcast. I know FJ's been stepping up a little recently, casting. There's been a couple of people here and there. Something we are really trying to help push a lot more for the community is, guys, if you are interested in casting, and what I mean by that is if you have a channel, you have a decent amount of viewers from time to time, and you actually find yourself having fun with the casting, then we are doing our part to try to give access to certain people to allow them to cast during those events. I mean, there are definitely rules set in place and everything as far as you'll have to like check in and whatnot, and get the access, because unfortunately with the way our system works, we can't just freely be giving out this access to everyone, because there's a lot of things that you are able to do with it. So, but with that said, if you are a streamer out there, and if you are somebody that you have a good viewership, it's going to be a trial thing if anything initially, but definitely let me know. Let me know actually, just as far as that's concerned. How should we work this out? Message me on the forums. Do that. Breaky CPK on the forums. So definitely just message me on the forums, and I'll try to get back to you, and we can move on from there. So, all right. So with that said, moving on to the podcast. Are you going to survive this podcast, Fantasy? I mean,
I'm trying.
Sounds like you're having troubles, man. Okay.
Trying.
All right. We can move on now. So from DreamHack, of course, can transition here into what is Han Tour Cycle number 4. So once again, Han Tour Cycle 4, we're going to be continuing coverage of that right after this podcast, the grand finals of Stay Green versus Lion Esports Club going to be happening, and that's going to be a lot of fun. With that said, I mean, obviously we've had the matches leading up to this point, and definitely a couple of things I wanted to point out as I pull up the brackets right here for you guys. You're going to go to the events tab on HonTour.com. You can check it out for yourself. But, what a trek it was once again. I mean, you look, especially in the later portion of the event, once again, a lot of 3-game series coming out. I know on Saturday for you, I believe, Beef, both of your games happen to be 3-game series going at it. And we're seeing more and more of that as time moves on. So, Fantasy, what have your thoughts been about the cycle number 4? So far?
I think the biggest surprise, obviously, is the Team USA not reaching the second weekend.
Yeah.
And the second biggest surprise is the resurgence of Too Much Sugar for getting... Last time I was on, we talked about them maybe disbanding, or if they ever going to have any success, and then they come out of the gate and get to the podium, to the third place. So that's my takeaway.
Yeah, it's been another very interesting cycle. Again, Lion Esports Club going to have that rematch yet again. Too Much Sugar's results, for me, they were a mix of, obviously, great. I mean, they got third place in the end. They were 1 game away from making the grand finals. But still, at the same time, it just seems like they are so inconsistent as far as their play. I mean, I think we saw that yesterday in the Lion Esports Club series that we casted on Honcast. The game that they won, sure, that was a game 2. They looked really good, but both the first game and then even the third game, it just seems like they got demoralized right off the bat, and then it just completely snowballed from there. I know Lions is a great team and all, but I don't know. This TMSR team is hard to gauge as far as what they're ultimately going to be doing as far as things moving on. But, hey, a third-place finish, you got to be happy with those results. So, Beef, anything about this cycle that really stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, Team USA dropping out early, something I didn't expect. They've been trying out a new roster now that Peter Pan Dam is pretty much officially moved on from Han, and it hasn't necessarily been working out the best for them. In fact, they had B-Kid that was even out, so they had 2 of their primary captains that were gone in that first day of matches. Yeah. Ended up dropping out the first week. I mean, not exactly what I expected. First time they did not make the podium so far this season. Other than that, Justice League making it into the top 4 once again. I mean, these guys just consistently fly under the radar. They're not the biggest names, they're not the flashiest team, but you will find them in that 4 to 6 spot every tournament. And they're just looking solidly consistent. I mean, I know we talked a little bit about Justice League maybe making it out to DreamHack, but they're definitely a team that you need to watch out for. And then on top of all that, TMSR looking good, but more importantly, another Stay Green Lions rematch for the grand finals. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll see if Lions is going to be able to pull it off.
Yeah, speaking of that, of course, going into the grand finals after this, we figured it'd be prime opportunity to have a player from each team come on as far as doing some pregame interviews. So first things first, we got I believe Hanskin's going to be joining us there. Let me add him to the call, and we can move on with that. So as soon as he picks it up, Hanskin, of course, the captain for Lion Esports Club. And there we go. Looks like he's joining us now. Hanskin, how you doing, buddy?
What's up? All good? You guys?
We're doing great.
Awesome.
We're doing awesome. We're
Decent.
talking a lot about some good Heroes of New Earth. Not only that's been happening, but coming up. I mean, from the DreamHack event, Sound Blaster Heroes League, we got Haunter, man. It's keeping you pretty busy, Hanskin, to say the least. So I'm sure you're happy with that. First off, I mean, you heard about the DreamHack announcement. What did you think about it?
I think it was great with all the 6 NAU teams and European teams coming on, and the competition is going to be great if everything works out as it should in the qualifiers. And I don't know, it's probably going to be the best DreamHack in a few years.
Yeah.
In a few years.
You guys confident that you're going to be qualifying and doing pretty good in the event?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Okay, but anyways, we didn't really bring you up for that. We brought you on, of course. So you got a big matchup coming up here in pretty much about an hour from now. You guys are going to be taking on Stay Green, just like last cycle, but opposite side of the spectrum. Now you guys are coming from the losers bracket. What do you think is going to happen? I mean, you guys feeling good going into this grand finals or what?
Yeah, we feel good. I guess there's something like when we play Stay Green, it's always like either we come strong from the start or we just fall. It seems like so. We take the series in the start and just go from there, or we just. I don't know. That's what I think is gonna happen. I'm not sure, but I think we have a decent shot.
Why, as the captain, I figured this would be very obvious, so I don't know, maybe I'm missing something, but why don't you just first pick Devour every single game?
I don't know. It's something like if the teams are really scared of it, they're just gonna use the ban in the first 2, or the hero is not really a hero that anyone else is going to pick, so.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually something you can save for the second or third pick.
Yeah.
So,
there's just times though where even I see it passed up in those first 3 picks. I'm like, guys, you have 100, you have a 99% win percentage with this hero. Obviously, I don't know if that's true, but it's probably not. But yeah, Super KGE definitely plays it very well, and it's fun to watch. Okay, so again, Stay Green. What is it? Are you? Okay, last cycle you guys were up 1-0 going into the grand finals. Then you even won the first game. First off, I hate to bring you back to those great memories, but what was it like after they came back and eventually took the series? I mean, what were the feelings like for you guys?
I guess I don't know. We felt really good after that first, second game win, or whatever you want to call it. But,
yeah.
And then there was that Moon Queen game where I think we should have probably won, and I guess we all felt it, and we should have probably won that game, and then everything just collapsed. I guess we kind of dropped it. Just I don't know really.
Could you say it was a learning experience? I mean, do you guys look back at matches like that and be like, well, this is where we went wrong. Let's not do that next game, or?
Yeah, yes, definitely. We always do that when we lose against team. Sometimes there's just games, you've already lost it. You couldn't have done much different,
Yeah.
You just lost the draft or something like that. But that game probably we could have won it just as it was, and we definitely had to look at it and learn a few things about it.
Sorry, Beef. Go ahead.
What?
Beef?
What?
It sounded like you want to say something. Don't want to cut you off.
No.
Okay, I'll continue.
I was mouth breathing. Sorry.
I'll continue. What are your thoughts on the competitive scene right now, Hanskin, overall, as far as the teams go?
I think it's really good. There's a lot of teams screaming, more than I thought going into the season. I know there's 7-8 teams that's doing really well right now, and there's a few mix-ups here and there, but I think overall it's working out great.
Yeah. You guys actually just qualified for the Sound Blaster Heroes League, so
Finally.
Yeah, finally, right?
Yeah.
It took you long enough. You had a little bit of a hiccup there initially, but you guys just qualified. Are you excited going into those group stages now?
Yeah, I'm really excited for this one. Last time it was a blast, so I just, yeah, it's gonna be great.
What do you think about the Southeast Asian teams?
I haven't seen too much of them. I've read some of Nova's and Emperor's like blogs and stuff, so that's all I know, I guess.
Yeah.
You're not
they
reading the
practiced
Honcast articles?
Yeah, that's the one that's the one like they do practice, like they even train physically together and they do all kinds of crazy shit. So I think they're gonna be stronger than people expect even.
Both physically and in the game, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you guys doing that? You guys do push-ups, anything like that?
Not really.
Not really. I do. I do 10, 20 in between every cast.
Absolutely.
Damn.
I do them
Good
while
job.
I'm casting.
We should start doing that.
It's a great thing, man. Got to keep in shape.
Yep.
Everyone can be like me.
So, okay, Hanskin, going into the first 2 cycles of the season, you guys were definitely underperforming. You were really, really hyped up. Then you released Flensmeister. You brought in Pee-wee. You had an amazing cycle with Pee-wee. Came 1 game away from the championship. Now you got Fuzi. Is the chemistry there with Fuzi? Are you guys feeling confident with him? You going to be moving forward there, or what's going on? How's it working out?
I can't tell you for sure, really. It's sort of like just a 1 cycle thing. We try it out for those 2 weeks that we have, and we haven't finished the cycle yet. We got the grand finals incoming. So I don't know. We're not really too concerned about discussing the matter when we are already like playing a cycle. We just kind of play it out, do it after, so there's no like hard feelings or whatever if we want to replace a player or we're gonna add him to the actual roster or anything like that. We just want to save it for like that after the cycle so we can have a week to.
All right. And if you do end up having to drop a player and Super KG gets kicked, have you considered replacing him with Jiggle Billy?
That is something we should probably look into if we do.
That guy plays a phenomenal diva, and that's really all you need MA for.
And Gauntlet.
Yep, absolutely. So there you go.
Yeah, why
Jiggle
don't we
Billy
see? That's
confirmed
actually,
lion.
you know, so okay, you have Prisoner banned obviously every game. You Devour every now and then for you got. Why not pick up Gauntlet? I mean, Gauntlet seems like he's a good replacement in that place. I mean,
I actually think the hero is pretty good, but
Yeah.
I don't know. We tried it a few times in the past, but I don't know really. It's just something that doesn't really occur too much to us, I guess. It's a good hero. It's, yeah.
Super
probably should.
KG, I'm sure he could play just fine, man. I mean, it's
Yeah.
the same thing.
He's
All
a
right.
pretty pro hooker. It doesn't matter what way.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Also, the hand skin, means the glove in Swedish, so
Well, yeah,
that.
gloves of Midas on the ground.
yeah, true.
Hand of Midas.
Ah,
Oh Lord.
shots fired. Shots fired. Yeah, so yeah, that is going to be interesting to see how that 5th turns out for you guys. I mean, I personally thought obviously Pee-wee a great 5th, but clearly, you guys moved on with that. Now you're going with Fuzi, so best of luck with that situation, and we'll see moving forward. But it's good to see at the same time, you guys are obviously just focused here on this grand finals. You're not putting too much onto that just yet, so wait for after the cycle. Makes a lot of sense. All right, Hanskin, before we let you go, any final words? I want to make sure. Fantasy, Beef, any more questions? We'll give you
No,
some
not
talking
really.
time here. Okay. So, Hanskin, any final words you want to make here before we let you move on and eventually play in those grand finals?
Just shout out to Lions, all the players in my team, Papa Björn, and my stream, twitch.tv/Hanskin.
You stream often?
Not really. I used to do that a lot more during the summer and whatnot, and
Should stream
not
more.
too much anymore. Just sometimes.
Should do it more.
Yeah.
There you go. Good on that. All right, guys. Thank you, Hanskin, for joining us, man. And best of luck, obviously, in the grand finals. Of course, we'll be watching it, man.
Thank you. See you later.
Yep. See ya. There you go. Hanskin joining us from, of course, captain of Lion Esports Club. So, yeah, that fifth is, I don't know. It's the way. I don't want to look too much into it, but it's a tough spot to fill. Obviously, they're in an interesting situation. Wow, I think it was either Sender or somebody, my co-caster on the other day. We were talking about Lions, and it really is a very tough. Actually, I think it was Swinnemel's. That's who it was. It's one thing to like kind of just reform a team altogether, with 2 or 3 people and find 2 other people, make a team from scratch. But it's another thing to have 4 players that have been playing together now for a pretty long time, and they got that core going. But that 5th player, it's not only does he have to really fit in with all 4 of them and their play style and their how they act and everything, but vice versa as well. And it's, to fit that one person, it seems like it's maybe a little more strict. to try to make that happen. So I think Fuzi's been doing pretty good with them, but we'll see how that progresses. But holy crap, there we go. Looks like we're moving on to the next one here. We got.
Sorry, I just added him to the call, and then he called, picked up.
And then he picked up. There you go. That's how it works.
Sorry.
Now we're joined by Swindlemouths. No problem. I'm good on the fly stuff. Crazy with this production stuff. Swindle, are you there?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, you just waking up?
Yes. Kinda. Took a little bit of a nap. It was a long day. But hi.
Is this an announcement of a new sponsor?
Are you guys sponsored
Powered by LG now?
LG? Is this?
I think it's because my webcam's unplugged. If LG wants to sponsor us, though, we would gladly accept them.
It's like some random just LG logo pops up. All right.
Let me rejoin real quick, and it'll be
Sure.
live,
We'll let you get that figured out. Okay. So okay. Is it good now? There we go. Is
Think
it
so.
gonna work? Yeah, there we go.
Hey.
You're definitely
What's
just
up?
waking up. It sounded like a towel on. I'm not even gonna ask about that. Anyways, we'll move on. All right, so you guys got a big matchup. Clearly, you're ready for it. In about 50 minutes, you're going up against Lion Esports Club in the grand finals of Cycle 4. Thoughts going into it? You feeling good?
Yeah. Definitely a lot more confident with the game up versus the game down. That helps a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably we're feeling pretty good.
Speaking of that, again, you're coming from the winners bracket. This is where you're more comfortable with, obviously, as any team would be. But again, last cycle you were down 1-0. Hell, you were even down 2-0. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that, but do you think that in the sense where if you're down 2-0, is that kind of like that rally moment? Would you say a win? Okay, you're down 2-0. Would you say winning that would be more impressive than winning here from the winners bracket? As far as
You're saying, is it more impressive to go down 2-0 and then win?
I don't know what I'm saying, actually. I'm just trying to make up a question on the spot.
It's okay. Well, to answer what I think I'm interpreting as your question, I thought that was probably the most exciting cycle finals.
Yeah.
I think we beat Complexity from the losers bracket once.
Yeah.
But we didn't lose a game. We just won 3 straight. We've never, I think, gone down 2-0 and won. So, we kind of have like a never say die type attitude. Like we don't really. I guess we just like kind of don't believe we can lose until we actually do, if that makes sense. And part of the reason we don't stream scrims and matches and stuff is because we can be a little BM in Skype, but I mean it's the same as anybody if you play on like a youth sports team. You always talk shit about the other team to kind of hype yourselves up, you know. Yeah. So like you say these guys suck. I mean, sometimes you really think they suck, but other times you're just kind of saying that to kind of get ready to, kick ass. So
you should listen to Call of Duty players. They're really good at that. Like
yeah.
They just talk crap about their opponents.
I don't know why people don't look down upon that, because I think hyping yourself up, even if gaming is a mental thing, but there's still a big momentum shift. And Hanskin even touched on it earlier. Like after they lost the game they could have won, you can't really win a deciding game after that. I mean, they played excellently, and I think it's funny because I think if they'd just been crushed in that game, they would have probably came out with a stronger showing in the final game. But it's just Han's a lot about momentum, and luckily when you start one game up, you start with momentum. Yeah.
So here you are again. Last cycle it was quite the trek for you guys. All those 3-game series. We've talked about that for enough, but. This cycle, it's been a different story once again, more like the first and the second cycle even. Cause it's kind of funny, though. Here you are in the grand finals. You've only lost one game. Go figure that was to Happy Five Friends in the first round. But was that a fluke? I mean, were they actually really good? Or
I don't really know. That was one of the we just kind of didn't really try that hard in the first game. And they actually were better. It's a combination. It's honestly how a team will lose games. You underestimate your opponents, and then they don't suck as much as you thought they were going to. I said I would be surprised if they placed in the money this cycle, but I think they're actually like fairly good. Like their drafting was on point, and they played well. They just weren't put in essence we tried to play like a certain style, and then they are good, but they don't make like team decisions as well as we do, and they don't farm nearly as well. So we kind of relaxed, stopped tower diving, and we were just more experienced. But I think they're definitely a strong team.
Yeah, so again, now you're up 1-0 going to the grand finals against Line Esports Club. You going to be banning that Devour, or are you not worried about it this cycle?
Honestly, it depends. It depends on ping. If I'm under 200, you got nothing to fear.
You're
But
confident in the side steps.
no, we might take him out. We'll see.
Yeah.
If they want it, I imagine they're gonna pick it early. I was watching they've been like second picking him, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them pick it up early. But you never know.
So obviously, again, grand finals coming up, and I'm sure you're focused on that and everything. But there's other events going on. I mean, we're just talking about that, especially this come October. It's going to be crazy. Now, you guys are in more of a unique situation. We were talking about DreamHack announcement right off the bat of this podcast. We had Milkbot on everything. He made the point that, of course, you guys are automatically invited to the event, so going to be going to DreamHack. Are you happy with that? Or would you almost rather play in a qualifying stage? I mean, knowing that you probably would qualify anyways to get more practice out of that. Are you happy? You know what? We get the invite. We'll take that. We'll go.
I am so psyched to get invited for multiple reasons. One, the deathmatch format. I was actually just talking to Sam about it. I'm not a huge fan of it because I don't think it guarantees the best competition, because you can have a situation like we had the last DreamHack qualifiers where Domain of Pain was in without a doubt the group of death, and then they didn't even get a chance to play for their spot. So it's definitely more entertaining, but I just don't want to play in it. So, and this also means I can book my tickets early and plan the next SG post DreamHack trip. So
there you go.
Good stuff.
Get all that taken care of and out of the way. So yeah, I'm sure you guys are looking forward to it. Are you? I mean, would you consider you guys a favorite? Do you think it's gonna be?
I hope so.
What about compared to last DreamHack? You think are you as confident compared to last DreamHack, or?
I don't know. I'm never really confident. It's weird. I just worry that we're gonna lose all the time, and then luckily we win. So I think the competition this year is going to be a lot fiercer. There aren't going to be as many free wins.
Yeah.
So anything could really happen. And I also don't know what the format's going to be. And DreamHack's liable to do something weird, because if 10 teams are there, got to assume there'll be a group stage. But, then maybe.
That's all been announced.
It has, really?
I don't think the event itself has been announced.
Really?
No, just the qualifier.
Yeah.
Am I insane?
Just the 3-stage qualifier.
No, you're right. Hold on. Format. Best of 1 group stage. 2 times 5 teams, top 3 advanced, best of 3 single elimination playoffs. Okay, so yeah, it looks like that is a format.
Yeah, it's
for the main
definitely
event.
been announced.
Okay.
So there is a group stage of the 5 teams in each. Yeah, top 3 advanced.
Yeah. See, it's tough because first of all, the Southeast Asian teams. I mean, you guys were talking about how the scenes got to be really good because Nova and Emperor aren't top 4. I think it's definitely improved, but I still don't think I watch all the Garena important matches, and I'm not impressed by them in comparison to how impressed I am by the just under elite tier of teams in the NAU client. So, however, when you come from a different region playing on LAN, you can actually have new strats, and the best of 1 changes everything. So, I mean, you never really know what could happen, and I'm fairly certain there won't be any free wins this time. I'd be really surprised if a team finished 0-5. So, it's going to be a scary tournament, but we'll just have to try and prepare as well as we can and win.
I agree. I mean, I definitely agree with that. I don't think a Southeast Asian team is going to be coming in and taking first in group stages and taking the whole tournament by any means. But I do think the competition is most certainly going to be there. And yeah, I agree with you. I wouldn't be surprised if it's no winless teams in this with the way this event is set up. So yeah, that's going to be fun. Yeah, so it looks like that is actually how it's going to work out. All right, yeah. So the top team from each group just gets to bye the first round.
Yeah.
I just
funny.
realized
Okay.
It's the same format as the
Han Invitational.
Yeah. It's the same format. It's the same format as the original, not original, but what's pretty much decided upon as the best DreamHack tournament we've ever had. This was the same one where the top 6 teams were Lion, MSI, Frey, TDM,
yeah.
and K. Easy. I actually think that this will without a doubt be the best tournament. And I think that, people always say the competition's died off, but I think that you take the 6 top teams from this DreamHack, I think they'd stand up pretty damn well against the 6 teams that were in the top from the last one.
Yeah, the game has obviously developed so much, and just naturally over time, players are just ultimately going to get better. So, all right. So, any final words, Beef, Fantasy? Any questions you guys have before we move on here?
Oh, I like the format. We need to do another Han Invitational. Like we need to
Get on that.
We got a lot of stuff coming up, man. We're sitting here talking about
there's
that.
Literally no. I was sitting there talking with Inkland when we were trying to figure out what dates would work for the DreamHack qualifiers. It's just like, oh, okay. There's like literally no time for the next 2 months. Like there's events going on every single week.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Han's a busy place right now.
Hey, real quick, I just want to bring up a quick topic from the forums. What do you guys think about the crowdfunding for Heroes of New Earth prize pools?
Crowdfunding. Oh, like what? Like Valve does and stuff?
CSGO raised from the community $250K for their DreamHack tournament, I believe, if my numbers are correct.
What was that? See, how did that work? Wasn't that through the purchase of the keys, though?
Esports
Like
case
stuff?
keys.
Yeah,
Something
okay.
like that. I mean, I could think of a great idea easily, right? You get all the competitors. You pay $1, right? That goes to the DreamHack prize pool, preferably the first place team. Then $1, right? You get a raffle ticket, and the winner of the raffle ticket, right, gets a plushie, a Cthulhuphant plushie, signed by everyone connected with Han at DreamHack. For $1, you get a chance to win one plushie. And that's a really terrible idea, but it's an example because there are people who would buy raffle tickets. There are people who would buy multiple raffle
It's gambling.
I'll say.
Yeah, sure. Seriously,
Gambling is a
we have
tax on
so
the
many
student,
gold coins now. Just throw in, a little incentive. Just say, hey,
I agree.
bet here, go to gamers. Just boom, just straight up plagiarize it like high school English papers. Change the keywords or whatever, and then boom, put it into the game. Done.
I mean, I will say this, like it's easier for us to say from our perspective, when we're not the ones that, have all the things to worry about from things like, again, I don't know exactly where you're going with, but if you're talking about giving away things in game, I mean, there's the whole UI side of it. There's the whole
No, none of that stuff. We just want more money.
Well, exactly. That's what ultimately comes down to. And as yes, obviously, yeah, that would be a great thing. That would be a great thing. Yes, right off the top of your head, of course, that would be an awesome thing. But I would be worried that maybe that also at the same time might be a little underwhelming as far as the ultimate results from it. As far as what is actually put into it. So
see, I disagree wholeheartedly. I mean, I'd wager that if something like this was any amount of money would be, good. Like people wouldn't be like, oh wow, darn it, we only got $5,000 for the prize.
Well,
we might as well just not even put it in. They're not even there. I don't think that's going to happen. But
there's actually a very recent example in StarCraft where the SC2 League, hosted by Evil Geniuses, did something with D-Link. For every D-Link router bought for the event, they would add $5 to the prize pool or whatever. And at the end, there was like $1,200 added to the prize pool of like a $40,000 event. It just kind of became the laughing stock of their community.
Who wants to buy a D-Link router, though? That's awful.
Well, I'm just saying, if you don't do it right,
exactly.
People will laugh at you.
Yeah, it can backfire. Because we're already being compared to the international, $1.6 million event. You just mentioned CSGO had a $250,000.
Can you give me like 30 seconds? I want to go grab something from downstairs to show it on.
Anyways, we just had a $250,000. You're just talking about for CS:GO. I mean, that's great, but if we were to do something like that, and like you said, if it ends up only being like $1,000, $1,500 on top of the $30,000 prize pool, it's like, well, yeah, sure, it's a little bit more money, and there's nothing wrong with that in the end, and it's a great idea. But from a marketing perspective, from just giving more fuel to the fire of like, oh, haha, look at those guys, they were only able to get this much money, so that shows that the game's dying, blah blah blah. So. Yeah, again, it's easy to sit, especially him as a player. I mean, I know he's not here now, but him as a player, of course, yeah, I just want more money in the end. Of course, yeah, it makes sense for him. I mean, obviously, but from an outsider perspective, from a spectator, and some of the, obviously he loves the game as well, but I could see that definitely backfiring at the same time to an extent. So,
okay, so I couldn't find it, but it was given out at the Han Tour finals. I think you'll probably remember it. Oh no, it was 2 DreamHacks ago.
The medal.
Yeah, no, not the medal. It was like a book type thing. It was
Oh,
There's a
yeah.
picture.
Yeah,
It's not a
this
book.
case where the
Yeah,
ultimate
there was a
avatar
Han
were-
case.
We have several of those here. Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
can't find one. But
That would
summer
be
2012.
Yeah, that would be an example of, I think, like cool things you could
Yeah.
like do. I don't know. I'm just saying. I thought that was like the coolest thing produced, and like nobody knows about it because there were like no pictures taken, and it's just competitors got it at a DreamHack, and it's like the coolest thing ever. And then no one really knows it exists, but I thought that was a kick-ass idea. So, you guys, I bet if you put your mind to it, you could definitely hook it up.
we could hook it up. All right. Yeah, I don't know. It's like I was just talking about. It's a fun idea. It definitely has. It could have potential, but it's not as easy as just saying, "Go, make it happen." So,
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Hey.
that's not how it works.
Well, we are on a podcast. If there's anybody who wants to maybe throw out some ideas, if you email Mark MARC at s2games.com, send him your ideas. Maybe he'll like one. Who knows?
You never know.
And you could always voice your support for custom maps.
That too. Be sure to make a bold line about that. All right, Swindle. I mean, any final words before we move on here in the podcast? Again, you got a match to get ready for, so.
I think I've probably said more than enough, but thanks for having me on. I like the podcast. Seems like a good idea. Should probably do one again. I like it a lot, and it's fun to watch. So thank you guys for doing it, and see you later. Also, Beef, nice haircut, dude. That's dope.
Thanks.
Looking good.
Swag
All right.
out.
Obviously, we'll be casting the match, man, so best of luck against Lightning Sports Club. We'll be watching.
Okay, cool. Have a good one.
You too. There we go. Always an interesting conversation with Swindle Mullins.
It sure is.
Going off different topics, though. That's fun. It's definitely a good topic to talk about. I have no problem talking about it all, but yeah, I just think it's a lot easier for him as a player to just sit back and say, make it happen when there's a lot more factors that come into play. So, anywho, moving on here. So again, that's going to be the grand finals. Lions versus Stay Green. Going to be taking on one another in about 35 minutes or so, 40 minutes here. We're going to be here on Honcast, so best out of 5. Stay Green, of course, will be up 1-0. We're going to have some fun with that. Here we are, though, Cycle 4. I mean, very possible we could have Stay Green yet again winning another cycle. Even more decisive than Cycle 3. But it's so weird because it's obviously if you just look at the results, it's like, oh well, Stay Green's just dominating. But I think it's safe to say, and I mean he even makes a point. I mean teams overall just seem like they are getting better and better. A lot more practicing, a lot more scrimmaging going on. But I guess so is Stay Green at the same time. They are constantly still even getting better and better. So I guess from that perspective, it's understandable that they are still winning it all to an extent, but. One of these cycles, man. When is it going to happen, though, is a question. Maybe it will be this cycle. Maybe Lions will come from behind here. You guys think that is possible? I mean, you guys think Lions actually genuinely has a chance here against Stay Green being down 1-0?
I doubt it. I doubt it. When they are down 0-1 already, I don't think someone will win 3 times against Stay Green at this point.
Yeah.
I think they have a chance if they go through, like in Cycle 3, they went through the upper bracket. That is where I gave them a chance and actually predicted it.
Of course,
but I don't think that you can take 3 matches off Stay Green at the current stage.
Yeah, it's another funny stat that I was able to realize. Obviously, I've been gathering all the player stats and everything from cycle to cycle. Swindle Mullins actually leads all players in SmackDowns. Believe it or not. So not only do they win, but they win with a statement with the SmackDown. So
Just gotta get those silver coins.
yeah, exactly.
Gotta get those avatars going.
So I thought that was interesting. I think Moon Meander's actually second. Let me actually double check on that real quickly. Moon Meander is second at 15. So yeah, it goes to show you he's just smacking down players left and right, twice as many as the second place person.
I need an iSmackDown Pros watch again. I lost mine.
Damn.
I'll send you another
Ricky,
one. We have
can
like
you hook
5
it up?
million of them. Yeah.
Thank you.
You got me the Evo headsets. I guess again that's the least I can do for that. So hook me up there.
There you go.
All right, so moving on, though, from On Tour cycle number 4 here. So, yeah, again, that's going to be happening about a half an hour from now of the grand finals. But there's still a couple more topics to talk about before we get into that. The next one being, well, the Sound Blaster Heroes League. Obviously, as we were mentioning, it, of course, continued on with the most recent bracket of that was the third qualifier, I believe it was. And, of course, for that one, as I'm actually trying to pull it up right here if I can. What the hell is going on? Anyways, that was the Cycle 3. So we had Denial Esports as well as Lion Esports Club, of course, qualifying from Cycle 3. Again, Denial Esports, these guys, the newer team coming together here. And obviously qualifying for the group stages of the Sound Blaster Heroes League. That's definitely pretty impressive. We'll see if they can keep it up. But your guys' thoughts on those results? Again, in the end, unfortunately, there was some forfeits when it came down to it. But Beef, qualifier number 3, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. TMSR especially forfeiting 007 forfeit in that one as well. So the brackets got kind of screwed up as a result of that, and the matches didn't really go as well. And then in the finals, I mean, for Denial, you had one person out of the country, one person with no internet, and one person that was like deathly ill. And so it's just like, well, I mean, I guess you get hit by a perfect storm of not being able to, even with the 2 ringers that they had available, they still couldn't field a 5-man team. So what are you going to do? I don't know. I'm still looking into maybe trying to get that match played in some kind of a capacity, because I know the viewers want to watch that match. It should be a rather good one. So we're going to look into that one. But other than that, I mean, definitely both of the teams qualifying are deserving. And going into this next one, you definitely have something to fight for. Internet Gangsters and TMSR, the 2 favored teams going into number 3. But you've also got teams like 007. I talked with them last night. They're planning on playing in this one. And then BRB 3 Minutes, the team with quite a few names. Got TPS Priceless. You got Panny, Book, Umbre, Mr. Ling. I think Yolam's on there. Like, they're going to be making a fight for it as well.
Yeah, I actually got the brackets pulled up right here. I find it pretty funny. TMSR, I was like, holy crap, there's no Too Much Sugar. And then I looked at this roster.
Yeah, they changed their name.
Pew Calm Down is their name. A little bit of fun smack talk going on there. So, of course, this is the last qualifier, as you were stressing, from the North American European region. So that's it's a very, very important. Any thoughts? What are your thoughts, Fantasy, on obviously Lions? We expected it, but Denial Esports, I mean, maybe a team we didn't expect in the end, but.
No, I wasn't really surprised. I think they beat IG in the second qualifier already, making a blast, and they just rolled through bronze and I think silver right now. Those are all good players, so it's not really surprising that they do good. I still would have liked to see Insania and his IG crew go through, but they played really good, and they deserve to be there.
Yeah,
they do, but they got to earn it at the same time. So
yeah, they're working on it. I mean, they're still trying to incorporate Fabelli into that roster after losing Fuzi, but Denial, they're looking good. I mean, for me, the surprise on Denial is not that the team is doing so well; it's that they're doing so well with. I mean, they're all known players, but I don't know, man. Like Probusk and like
Who's
Mickey,
on the roster,
Mickey's like a.
Quickly. It's on a Haunt Tour set. Let me pull it up.
Zlapt, Probusk. I mean, we haven't seen too much of those guys lately. VN's not that surprising. He was the captain for VDT and whatnot. And then Mickey, like, people don't realize this guy's like 13 years old, and really? He's insane. Like, he is a very good suicide player. He was making some plays on bubbles in this last SBHL qualifier. If you've not finished or watched that yet, you should go back and watch the Denial match against IG.
Yeah.
Because it was an incredible match. Both of the teams played really, really well. And that's available on my Twitch. It'll be going up on YouTube today as well. And I mean, that was a really good match. And Mickey, he was for me the standout player from Denial.
Yeah. Yeah, that's 13 years old. God, it's like crazy to realize that players are playing at that top of level at that age. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this roster, and I've been asked several times on my own stream, whatever, just like, what are your thoughts on Denial Esports? And I find myself sitting here like, okay, I get it. This is a star power team. I mean, it's a mix of players that both have proven themselves to an extent, as well as, they are kind of like decent name, like you got Slapped. He's more of a character, like a streamer on the scene than a player that's actually proven himself, to be honest, in the competitive scene. But So from that perspective, my response is basically I'm waiting for them to ultimately prove themselves. Qualify for SPHL, that definitely is a good step. They beat IG, a great team, so that they're getting there. But how will they do in the group stages, and how will they do once they reach Diamond, and ultimately will they stay together? Because I think we find ourselves getting really excited about teams like this off the bat, and then I don't want to say more so than not, but a lot of the times all of a sudden they just fall apart, and then 2 weeks later we're like, okay, well that team just fell apart. So I wish them the best of luck. Obviously, getting a sponsorship can definitely help, and it seems like Denali Esports is a pretty legit organization on the esports scene. So I wish them the best of luck, and we'll see how they do both in the group stages and in a cycle number, I guess that'll be 6 eventually if they win now the gold division or move up from there, which I'm sure they will. So
yep,
it's going to be fun seeing them. And also DreamHack. DreamHack is definitely another proving ground for them, that's for sure, with the qualifiers coming up. So
Absolutely.
definitely an exciting up-and-coming team on the competitive scene that I'm looking forward to. But, yeah, so a little bit of sidetrack there. But, I mean, as far as the bracket coming up for SBHL, once again pulling it up here, obviously, this starts today, correct? It does start
tomorrow.
I apologize.
Tomorrow.
Okay.
And then we'll start coverage on Wednesday with the round of 8, and then Thursday got the all-important semifinals. Then I think both of us will be covering that, and then the finals, hopefully going to be there on Friday.
Hopefully. And then, obviously, so this is the last NAEU qualifier, and then, of course, we got the one more Southeast Asian qualifier, which I believe is this weekend, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, 4th, 5th, 6th. We got a condensed qualifier. Doing our best to get the word out there, and I've been in personal contact with a couple of the Thai teams trying to get some of those big names like Myth S2Y, MRR, and Turtle Master. Make sure that those guys get signed up there. I know Impunity Storm is going to be registering. Got a lot of good teams going to be trying to come out there and win those last 2 spots because $20,000 in the cash and prizes, and of course the all-important exposure to the NAEU scene. Like, it's very important that those SEA guys make a big name. Already, Orange and DC Fabulous are there, so others going to be trying to join them as our 4 contingent from SEA.
Yeah, it's a little interesting because I 100% agree with that. I think they especially are playing for pride more than anyone, and, to really show that not only them as a team, but that scene over there can really compete. Now, they are going to be dealing with the online aspect, unfortunately, obviously, of the group stages, and no doubt that will play a role.
Yeah.
But at least we'll get a flare of their strategies, how they may play as individual players and where they can go from there. I know the first 2 qualifiers, of course, it was DC Fabulous, which honestly I'm not expecting a whole lot out of just watching their games against Orange Esports Club, which is the other team. They didn't really look that impressive. So Orange Esports, though, it's unfortunate that it is online because, again, if they were on the LAN setting, I think it's a different story, and maybe we'll see that at DreamHack. But they can definitely pull some upsets in those group stages, and I wouldn't be surprised at that. So I am very curious to see those other 2 teams, which are going to be definitely, no doubt, some more, as you said, MRR, Turtle Masters, and Infinity Storm, of course. So we'll see. I mean, Fantasy, I believe I may have even asked you this before, but I wondered if it still stands for you. I mean, the Southeast Asian scene, are you expecting the Southeast Asian teams here in the group stages of the SBHL to actually do good, or you think the latency might be too much an issue, or what?
I think the latency is going to be an issue for pretty much everyone except Orange Esports, who got used to it over the last couple of years. But I don't think that teams like Made in Thailand or Turtle Masters or whoever you want to name have that much experience playing on a 300 ping, playing on those rough under those rough circumstances, and I think it will take longer for them to adjust than just the group stage. So I think this is just a learning experience, trying to get the word out there that they are legitimate teams, and that's the biggest thing. Other than for Orange, they want to win.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see what they're able to do, especially in the group stages. So, again, that is shaping up nicely as expected. As we're talking about, we got 2 more spots, and it seems like we have those 2 favorite teams. But we are Spies, BRB 3 minutes. You were mentioning it. There's definitely Masked Muchachos. Can't forget about those guys.
The Masked Muchachos have been looking really good.
They actually are decent. I kind of said that a little jokingly, but we got the chance to cast them last week. I think it was against Lions in the semifinal matchup, and they actually did. They were pretty good. I forget. They ran some fun strategy. I want to say, I forget which year they ran. Anyways, it was a fun match to watch, and they did have something going for them. So
yeah.
We'll see.
It's kind of funny. Out of the teams that are there, all but one of the teams in this SBA.
Hello? Whoa.
Beef, we just lost you.
I lagged.
Uh-oh.
Was that him? Okay.
Hello?
It was him.
Okay.
Can you guys
you're
hear me
back
now?
now. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
back. It looks like
now.
you're good now. It's just a random hiccup.
Sorry. I was saying it's kind of funny in the SBHL bracket. All but one of those teams, I believe, has been in Diamond before.
Yeah.
So that's
That's
a
true,
pretty
yeah.
decent bracket, especially for the last qualifier here with already the 6 top teams qualified.
That's actually a good point. You know, obviously Diamond Division, a very prestigious division for good reason for Han Tour, and you got the Mass Muchachos, Team Kage, BRB 3-man Rape Team. I know these are teams that have been in Diamond. Sure, they ultimately maybe get knocked down or bouncing back and forth, but the fact that they could say that they've even been in Diamond, that's definitely that means something. It really does. So. Yeah, it's going to be fun to see how that one shapes up. And as you talked about, you're going to be starting coverage on Wednesday. And then, of course, we'll join in with the semifinals, then eventually the finals. So looking forward to that.
SEA this weekend. We'll do some replay broadcasts on that next week.
Yeah.
All leads into the group stages. I'm really looking forward to the SEA qualifier. Like I'm going to be watching. Well, I'm going to be casting those with bated breath, which is going to be hard because I'm going to be talking.
When are the brackets coming on?
I believe registration will close Wednesday, so brackets will probably go up Thursday.
Yeah.
All right. Nice.
All right. There we go.
And it should be exciting. But I mean, speaking of SEA, they've got a lot of stuff going on down there as well. Like their cycle is getting really close to wrapping up.
Yeah. Do you have a link for that by chance? Any information? Do we have a Honcast article even about that by chance?
Oh, Breaky.
I'm sure we do.
Do we have a Honcast article about that? Of course we do.
You can put this on. It's a little bit messy, but I think it gets
There we go. I got this.
info
Okay.
across.
Yeah, I got it right here. Okay, so here we go. That's transitions obviously into what we want to talk about next. And the Southeast Asian scene, the most recent article, of course, just posted here, looks like today, talking about how the G League for Cycle 2 is shaping up. And those are how the results are looking right there. So if I'm not mistaken, I mean, aren't those the same 4 teams?
Nope.
No, it's not.
Myth
Okay.
is new.
Myth is new.
Okay. Myth is
Yeah,
new.
MRR.
Okay.
MRR was their last cycle.
Yep, and they are close to getting knocked out.
Fantasy, go. I mean, you obviously got a lot to talk about here, so
My stage. All right.
your stage.
So basically, the first 3 teams are almost decided, or actually now the best 2, Orange Esports and Made in Thailand, are basically having clinched the playoff berth already.
Okay.
Turtle Masters took a hit today. They lost clean 2-0 against MRR, and are now a little bit in danger. But they still have a 5-point cushion at the 3rd place spot. And Bricks was in danger today. Actually, they lost yesterday and won today. And every single one that was chasing them had either a very, very large deficit or lost today, including Impunity Storm, who were close to them of getting that playoff spot. So it's basically we're back to where we were 2 days ago or before the weekend,
Okay.
with Briggs having 3 points, are 3 points ahead of Neolution MRR and 4 points of Impunity Storm.
Oh,
And
are you sure? Hold on. This graphic says Impunity Storm's only 1 point away.
Yeah, that was like I said.
okay.
Today
The match
was
just happened about 4 hours ago. And this
Gotcha.
article's about 12 hours old.
yeah. Check Skype for the updates
okay, my
stuff
bad.
if you want.
There we go. What do we got here? All right. Good old Google Docs. Holy crap, what is going on? Okay, up here. I see.
Like I said, it's a little bit messy, but
Hey, it gets the information. Okay, so this is the update. Okay, so yeah, now they're 4 points behind. How many matches are left?
4, no,
geez.
3.
Well, so
3
that's
rounds, yeah.
three
3, yeah.
2-game series. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So 9 points, total of 9 points is left to.
Do we know if Impunity Storm plays either Bricks or...
Impunity Storm plays MRR on the last,
Ooh, okay.
They-
So that's a pretty big match.
and they have
That's so important.
they have 2 garbage time games
Okay.
that they need to win, and then they play MRR. I think Bricks plays one of the top teams,
Okay.
has one of the top teams left, and MRR I think either plays one of the big teams and Impunity Storm or just Impunity Storm. I'm not 100% sure.
Gotcha. Okay, so yeah.
Imp needs to win their 2 crap matches and then hope to win against MRR and then hope that Bricks loses against one of the top teams.
Yeah.
And then they might be in.
They might be.
So it's going to be a hard road. Who did they play against today, Fantasy?
Today against DC Fabulous.
and they lost 0-2
and
to
they lost
GC Fab.
Yes.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that hurts. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Before
if they had won today, they would have been in good shape. But
Yes.
Do you get 3 points for going 2-0?
Yes.
So 3 and then 1 for tie ticket.
Okay, I got this here right now. Bricks is playing Orange Esports, Insidious Esports, and Fun Plays. So they still have to go up against Orange.
Okay.
and I mean, Insidious is a hard match as well.
Yeah,
Insidious
it's decent,
is
yeah.
really, really good, yeah. MRR is playing KD, Open House Party, and Impunity Storm.
Okay.
And Nova and Emperor are still playing Step Gods, Anti-Moon Queen, and MRR.
So
Okay.
MRR should be the only hard match there.
So two demotion teams that still have to, not demotion teams, but struggling teams
The bottom portion, yeah.
that still need the points. I don't know. That can be still tough.
Well, it's going to be a fun finish. So 3 matches left. And so when will that be wrapping up by the end of this week?
Saturday.
Next 3 days. Next 3
Next
days.
3 days. Okay.
Yeah.
So they just play
3 days.
nightly. Well,
Yes.
obviously we're keeping a close eye on Impunity Storm for good reason. Nova and Emperor and the 3 other players. We don't know their names. And what do you know their names,
we do.
Fantasy? I want to.
It's Frexer, it's Zeraphine, and it's
Zero Fight.
Yeah, Zeraphine.
Okay.
Yeah, Zeraphine was the guy that dropped out. What's the last one? It's the jungler.
I
It's
can't
the
remember.
jungler.
I know. So do they have?
Best something.
Have they been using the same 5 for this cycle, or were they
Yes.
still in transit? Okay, so because I know that was kind of a problem like last cycle we talked about. So, but this cycle it's been the same 5. Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's so they're on the verge, and once again, this is the cycle 2 of 4 cycles total. I believe we confirmed on last time.
Yes.
So again, this is their equivalent Diamond Division. Again, if you are just tuning in, you're wondering what the hell we're talking about. This is for the Southeast Asian G League. It's their Diamond Division, basically. It's a 4-cycle event. It's a group stage, basically, and then the top 4 teams, that's why it's green, they move on to a bracket where then they compete to, for the money and everything to move on. So, and then ultimately, at the end of the 4 cycles, obviously, depending on the points, you're going to be going out to the grand finals to face off against NAEU and everyone else. So, do we know how that's shaping up, by the way? So, is it just going to be straight up the top 2 points, or is it going to be like a bracket
That's not
stage?
confirmed yet.
Okay,
I tried to get a statement, but they won't tell me.
Okay.
I thought there was some kind of like ultimate playoffs here, like the top 4 teams from each G League all go to some kind of like ultimate playoffs, or am I incorrect in that?
Ultimate playoffs.
I think that's something that the CIS region is doing. I think
Okay, maybe that was CIS. I don't know. There's so many Han tours going on right now.
I think
it's hard to keep
CIS is
track.
doing it. They play this 3 cycles and then they go to a playoff stage and then they determine who is gonna win or go to wherever it is.
The Grandoso finals, wherever it may be.
I'm just looking at the schedule right now for G League,
Not going to
and
be Las Vegas.
like,
Nope.
here's the schedule from Saturday, the 12th of October on. There's G League finals, SPHL groups for 5 days, 2 days of DreamHack qualifiers, 7 days of SPHL playoffs, 3 days of DreamHack death matches, and then we're back to Han Tour like the day afterward. So that's going to be an amazing
ready.
time to be a Han fan.
Yeah, it is. It's it seems like it always does it, especially for Han. I mean, there's a lot of ups and downs as far as that roller coaster ride, and sure we having a no fight after DreamHack. Yeah, there seemed like it was going on a downward steep after such a great high, and other events happened like the International, kind of depressed people with stuff. But it seems like that's definitely been climbing back up with the events. Han Tour has been getting better and better. It seems like as we moved on, we got now these events, so it seems like we're going back on the roller coaster ride, on the uphill, which is a good thing, and definitely going to have a lot of fun with it. So looking forward to all of that. All right, so that was for the G League. We also got another region, the CIS region, actually, and I'll pull this up here. So once again, let me try to get it converted into English if possible.
I think you don't need to really have to.
I guess you don't have to. Yeah, that's a good point. So there we go. But this is for Cycle 1. It looks like I don't even know what I'm talking about. So fantasy. What
It's
am I looking
cycle
at here?
1, yeah.
Okay.
It's the group stage of the first of 3 cycles. It started yesterday. 8 teams are in the gold division. They have a very weird schedule that I don't understand. Because SBEC played twice yesterday for some unknown reason and lost twice. But anyways, yesterday three of the pro teams played, Mecha, ITS, and Swag, and they all won. Today, Cats joined the tournament and won as well, and they're, I think, currently playing their second match. Why are they playing 2 matches?
Okay.
Anyways.
So, yeah. So,
Anyways,
okay.
the 4 teams that were basically the favorites going in
Gotcha.
have all won.
Mecha, it's Swag. Yeah.
Yep.
Mecha
And
seems like
ITS.
Mecha seems like a team that's actually pretty powerful over there. That we haven't heard too much about them. Are they actually one of the favorite teams over there?
I think they are one of the 4 pro. Like I don't know how that works, but every single G1 tournament they have like 4 or 5 pro teams that they invite, and Mecha is always one of them. It's always ITS, it's always Cats, Swag, Mecha, and those are, and then 1/5 random team that I don't know.
I think it's been Awake a couple times, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I think Awake last
Sounds
year
familiar,
last time had to go through the non-pro tournament.
Okay.
I think. I'm not sure though.
I'm just trying to make things up. I've recently found out that I'm Russian, so I'm looking at more CIS stuff these
And now
days.
you want to cast it?
There you go. Get some more casting going on.
It's like
I just got to
Not
get a
busy
bottle
enough.
of vodka and just start casting. Like, just let the Russian flow through me. I don't know.
Exactly.
get on that.
All right. So yeah, that's again just doing our part to at least keep attention on those. And Fantasy, you definitely do your part. Big shout out to you. Really. I mean, obviously on Honcast.com, there's constant coverage with that, with the articles, if anything, for our crowd. So, and then here on the podcast, we try to touch on it as much as possible to at least get an idea of what's going on, because it is very important, especially the Southeast Asian region. I mean, there's so much going over there. It's hard to take in every single week. So much information. All right. So with that said, kind of following suit with those events, there's just another thing I want to do here. Just get some shout outs to teams that are in the other divisions of Han Tour. So we got the Masked Muchachos and Rape Team. It says they haven't actually even played. I don't know if they got rescheduled or not, but
They're
Third
2 games
game.
in right now.
Yeah.
oh, they're
And
playing right now.
So
Okay.
game number 3 is starting. Well, they did 2 games yesterday, and then game number 3 and 4, if needed, is today.
Okay. So they're playing the grand finals for Gold Division. So best of luck to them, of course. And
2 SBHL teams right there.
Yeah. And then also Call It Karma and then You Love to Party, 2 teams that at least recognize a little bit. They're also going to be moving up to the Diamond Division. So congrats to those guys. Pulling up another bracket right here. I should just pull up all these one after the other. Okay, so we got what? Silver. We got Silver right here. Who's the winner of the Silver? Swag Nation, of course. Denali Esports. They beat BRB 3 minutes in the finals. So another solid team there.
They had met in Bronze Division, where Swag Nation took them out last time.
Okay.
And doing it again here in Silver. Wouldn't be surprised to see them
again
do
in
the same in
gold.
gold.
Yeah. Just keep on going at one another.
Although, I mean, We Are Spies might fight them for gold. So
Weird Spice always wins gold.
Yeah.
I
Seems
talked
like
to
it.
them last night. They're just like, yeah, we don't really care too much about Diamond. We just like winning gold. Winning gold's really fun.
I asked them yesterday as well.
Okay.
For
I
the
guess when
guild.
you're on 6 titles, you just got to keep going. You like to stay green of the gold division.
Yeah, exactly. Dominate the Gold Division. Then, of course, there's the 2 Bronze Divisions. This is Bronze EU, I believe. We got Of the Forest defeating Gold in My Ass in the finals. Why these names exist, I don't know. But that's what it is, calling it like I see it. That's for the Bronze EU. And then Bronze North America, Krampus Christmas over Nectar Clubbin.
Oh
Shout
Lord.
out to Krampus.
Oh no.
What did I just do?
I had
I don't
to
know,
sit.
man. Maybe chat knows what Krampus is. I thought it was a German thing, and then Fantasy and Blaze both didn't know what it was. But
Yeah,
maybe
because-
chat knows what Krampus
Because
is.
Fantasy and Blaze are both from North Germany, and it's like a South thing kind of deal. I don't know what those guys down there do, but I had to sit through 2 hours of CS:GO, and Beef was yelling Krampus the entire time.
I was on a Crampage.
Oh, my God. I know what I
Calm down.
know what it means, man.
Krampus, it's like the opposite of Santa Claus. It's like a
Dark
holiday
version of
devil
Santa. Yeah.
that eats people.
All right.
Well, why not?
It's kind of like the Futurama, the evil,
Yeah,
evil
sure.
Santa. Yeah. That's what I related to. All right. Yeah, so that's well, that pretty much wraps it up, though. Unless you guys have any final things, again, we're on a little bit tight schedule here, so it won't take too much longer. But any final things we didn't talk about, fantasy beef, any big important news that we missed?
Have we given Happy Five Friends their share of glory for winning only match against Stay Green?
I think we did. I brought it up a couple times. Yeah, I mean, we even
Shout
brought
out
up
to-
the Swindle. Yeah,
Their interview with Johnny G on Honcast.
yeah.
Right.
There you go.
He said that he thought that they were going to beat Stay Green. So
They won the first game. I think it was. They played Kronos, I think, and won the first game. So they are still in Diamond, right? I think they even got a forfeit.
Yes, they got a forfeit
Okay.
from Ready for a Miracle.
Yeah, so they got a forfeit. Luckily, maybe. Hey, they could have won anyway. So, but yeah, so they are going to be staying in Diamond. We'll see what they do next cycle. Definitely. Hey, if Stay Green goes undefeated against Lions, I mean that's definitely going to be something especially. They're like, well, we were the only team to beat them in Cycle 4. That's impressive right there. All right, there we go. I think we've done it. I think we pulled it off. Another very solid podcast here. We got a lot out of the way. We had great interviews. Not only Milk Fed initially with the DreamHack announcement, but of course Hanskin and Swindle Melons coming on to get some pregame interviews going to those grand finals. With that said, Fantasy, we'll start with you. Any final words you have? Any shout-outs you want to make here?
I have another list. Can I go
Okay.
through that again?
Let's do that, yeah.
Okay. Shout out to Mishka, Mary, Baby Bitch Rose, Cat Pixie, Erisia Liv, and Shuyu, Mr. Ghost Snowy, Archie Tiger Emperor, and Nova. Super KG, Stroyfooter, Gozu Gamers, and special shout out to the Epic Gaming television crew, doing awesome coverage of the Southeast Asian G League every single day. Lark, Babel, and Abstract do an amazing job.
Lark's in chat right now. Give him
Lark,
some
yeah.
love, chat.
I love Lark. He's amazing. You should all love Lark.
All love Lark.
And shout out to Patrick Peterson, 2 late game interceptions. We got this.
He's good at that. Beef, any shout-outs you got? Final words?
Not nearly as many as Fantasy. I'm going quality over quantity here. Shout out to Dirty Mobs and his late night relationship advice, twitch.tv/Dirty Mobs. Shout out to Filipino Champ for taking 5 in a row over Chris G to win the Canada Cup Marvel Champs. Nice. Make sure to sign up for the SBHL SEA qualifiers if you're out there in the SEA region or you know anybody in the SEA region. Tell them to sign up, soundblaster.com/Han. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, forums, whatever you want. And then finally, shout out to the Saints. Got to take down the Dolphins tonight so I do not fall further behind in the league. Good luck, Saints.
All right.
And Fantasy is winning. Like, there's 3 Americans and a German
Landslide.
guy in our league, and Fantasy's like crushing right now.
Knows what's up. He knows it's NFL. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in as always. But again, it's kind of like thank you for tuning in. We'll see you in just a couple minutes even. I mean, we're going to be coming back here on Honcast. We're going to be doing some grand final coverage. We got Stay Green going to be coming up against Lion Esports Club. The grand finals there. Definitely stay tuned for that. With that said, I'm going to be restarting the stream. Got to turn the delay on, set up a couple things. So it'll be probably a total of about 10 minutes or so. But, obviously we shouldn't be missing any action or anything like that. So definitely stay tuned, guys, on Honcast. Lions versus Stay Green. Coming up next, we'll see you in a short bit. Peace.